All right, so we're gonna be trying Freya on Nidhogg. A lot of people have been wanting to see how well she fares. Now, again, her original passive does not work in Nidhogg. It is a PvP only passive. But the one thing that people liked about her is that pretty much you have 2 single targets, which is very good to pair alongside her Holy Relic, which needs a single target to remove stances on Nidhogg, which is very, very good. And she also has this new Exterminate card that can ignore crit resistance, so that might be good as well for hitting like crits. But I guess the main issue is that your ultimate is probably gonna be lower dupes, because again, Freya banner isn't the best banner, it's a special banner. So that means she's probably not gonna be in most of the banners that you're probably gonna be pulling characters on. So that is also the unfortunate thing. But again, people wanted to see, so we're using the Goddess team. Again, she could possibly be better than Rid1, but again, Rid1 is going to be more so in more Ragnarok banners than this new Freya, because Freya is a seasonal character, which means she's going to be more suited for seasonal banners. Alright, so we are going to be showcasing this green Freya on Nidhogg. This is going to be some pre-recorded footage that I did with the footage sped up by ×2 speed. That's why you're probably not hearing no audio. Now, pretty much, I just want to give my genuine opinion on Freya and stuff like that. See, the thing with Freya is you want her, like a lot of people are saying, you know, with her, she's going to be really, really good for Nidhogg because she has 2 single targets. Now, you might be wondering yourself, like, yo, what is her just having 2 single targets have to do and being really good? Now, if you don't know, her Holy Relic is like in Demonic Beast Nidhogg, the hero single target attacks have a stance cancel effect and increase all stats of allies by 4% every time the hero inflicts damage. Use skills up to 5 times and all that good stuff. Now, this is really, really good for her because pretty much that will mean that you will get more chances to stance remove in Nidhogg, which is very, very good. You like the stance remove a lot of times on Nidhogg, especially on the earlier stages. But and then on the red one, now the red one only has 1 single target stance and then 1 AoE card. Now this only applies to the earlier stages that where this would be really, really good for, because her main passive does not work in Nidhogg. It is a PvP passive, this green Freya, which is probably one of the issues that both of the Freyas does face sometimes, and that their passives do not work at all. So you usually have one passive that do work and one passive that don't work. Either if you run like a full Ragnarok team, you have one of the passives that really works, which is your main one, but you're talking about the Rid Freya, but you don't have that Goddess effect for your Holy Relic that works. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a hit or miss when it comes to these Freya characters, where seemingly Marvel wants them to be like they just don't use their full capabilities all the way, like you see with like most characters. So you always have that struggle where you stretching like, do I have go goddesses, have go Ragnarok? And that's where it leads to issues where your damage earned isn't the best with Freya. Now my Freya right now, the green one, is 2 out of 6, and 2 out of 6 definitely not the best. Her single targets do a lot of damage, I can't lie. When I see a single target, it do a lot of damage. Nothing comparable to Mael, of course, but who could compare to Mael? But again, it does do a good chunk of damage. The only thing I'd probably say the issue with her is that her passive, it's just her passive don't work. Her passive don't work. Like her main passive don't work. Which is kind of sucky. So I guess the only thing you'd probably be like issue if you want to compare which one is better or good is how far you can get in Nidhogg, because I do feel like with the green Freya, she's actually really nice for earlier stages for having that extra stance removal or stance cancel effect for having 2 single targets. But for the later floors, I feel like she was feeling like a little bit underwhelming, because again, she's low dupe because she's 2 out of 6, and it's probably gonna be very hard to get dupes for her to begin with, because she's a seasonal character. You got to remember that as well, that because she's a seasonal character, she's most likely going to be only featured on seasonal return and banners and stuff like that. Or maybe if we're lucky enough, she might appear as a unfeatured for like a vote banner or something like that. We just don't know. While the red Freya, she's most likely going to keep returning on normal Ragnarok banners because that's basically what we've been seeing. Like usually you see Ragnarok banners right now. They're usually featuring like a Freyr, a Skadi, a green Brynhilde, or a red Thonar at least. You feel me? Like red Thonar even on there. Just because the fact that those characters are not a seasonal. While you see so many people probably still struggle to get like red Brunhild. Okay? Like show hands, like who has red Brunhild, the season character still? Like who's still missing that? Probably still a lot of you. Let's just show you how hard it is to get these seasonal characters. And that's why I feel like it'll probably be very underwhelming to keep trying to use Green Freya unless you just don't care about her being like lower dupes or not or something like that. Which again, lower dupes for the goddess team. If you're not a content creator, is probably, or if you have time to spare, isn't like the worst thing. But I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been recording like it's like 4 a.m. The maintenance in like 2 a.m. and using this team. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of hated using Freya just because she was 2 out of 6. Because I use the red one and the red one goes a lot faster. Like you just tell the difference on how a 6/6. How fast a goddess team can be versus a low dupe goddess team can be. Again, they're both safe teams where you don't have to worry too much, but man, it is boring. It is really, really boring. Like I was literally about to just like doze off, try to record the video because like the goddess team just takes a very, very long time. Like when I was using like tier and stuff like that, the tier team went super fast. That I didn't even realize like I was still recording and stuff like that. I was like, wait, that was it? But maybe it's just because of the team how they featured and stuff like that. Like with the tier team, it's just a full-on DPS squad where you just have one support character being like Miguel and stuff like that. While the goddess team, you have pretty much technically 3 characters who are technically supports. Because Freya really don't do Mael damage. So she be feeling like a support sometimes. Obviously, it's like you rather have her damage or than anything else. You feel me? Like if you don't have no Mael card, you want to at least want to back off and have Freya attack cards. But you definitely can have moments with this team where you can have like a full hand of Alat and Liz cards, which again, to make the runs a lot longer than it has to be. Rather than if you would have used like a full like Ragnarok scene featuring like Tyr and then Freyr and stuff like that and Magilda. Now the only reason why I'm doing this team rather than that team with the Ragnarok one is because I already know they're gonna people be like, yo, is this one better than Red Freya? And then they're gonna say like use the goddess team because again the goddess team you're most likely gonna be using Green Freya on. Like I'm not dumb, okay? I understand that not everybody's gonna probably try to summon for tier or try to build all the relics, especially because Freya relic is literally a Nidhogg relic. So like I doubt most of you guys probably have Freya relic, because with Freya relic you definitely need it for the tier team. So I just go for the next best thing, which is just the goddess team, which doesn't have a higher requirement. It just features Mael, which if you have high dupes, which I think believe like 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 6, where he gets like the grave buffs, that's gonna be the best option for you. And you can always just replace characters as well too. Like I've been seeing people use like Margaret and stuff like that, Red Tarmiel. It's still a lot more options than what the Ragnarok team is, even though the Ragnarok team I believe would be a lot faster than the goddess team just because of how much DPS it is and how easy it is to ult rush. Now again, I'm just talking regular over floor 2 and stuff like that, because floor 3, that's where you see the huge issue with the green Freya and stuff like that. Now I probably misplayed and stuff like that doing all this, But I just did like the normal play I would have did before the nerf for Nidhogg, which what you want to do is stall for like a Pierce card and stuff like that. But silly me, I ended up not trying to stall for Pierce card and I kept using it. Because I was just like, yo, man, ain't no way I need a salt. I still need to save for a Pierce card, right? You still do. Okay, that's one issue you gotta remember, guys. You still have to save up for that Pierce card. It doesn't have to be gold. It can be like silver, and you just have like 2 ultimates to use. But you just want to keep trying to save up that Pierce card and make sure you never use it. That definitely affected my run too, and making it a little bit slower. But like I said before, like, oh yeah, and I was having moments like this where I just had like to use it just because I need a stance removal, like you saw right there. Those were also moments, so it's not like I was purposely like doing it as well. It was just I had sometimes moments too, and man, that really made my run long because then I will need like, then I had to stall for finding the next card. Oh my god. Just like rewatching it, just like I'm just dozing off. You ever just like have one of those teachers in class where you just, when you hear they just voice talk, you just want to just like bob your head down, ready to just close your eyes? That's me watching the Goddess theme in action, bro. I think I even used my single target card right there too. See, I was just using my Pierce card like willy-nilly. That's why I was saying, like, I'm gonna blame some of it on me because I was using it wildly when I didn't need to sometimes. But it probably would have been the same results anyways, because if you're a person who don't have 6/6 Mael or, you know, higher box CC, it's going to be still super slow. Also, I've been feeling like a lot better. I don't know if you guys been noticing, but I've been sounding like mad sick in my videos. Like, I've been sounding mad sick, bro. But lately, I've been feeling a lot better when recording. I got a lot of stuff I need to be doing lately. Okay, doing all that. Like, I didn't swear. I realized like, yo, I need to be saving this Pierce card, bro. Because I started noticing like my team, like it was just getting too long. Like I was looking at the time and stuff like that. That's why I just chose to like just speed it up, bro. Like this is like 20 minutes of footage, bro, and I double that time, and that's me like cutting it up. So just imagine how long it took just regular. I also was like struggling on like floor 2 too. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I was struggling on floor 2 just because she wasn't doing that much damage when it came to like the last floor, last phase, because the damage reduction buffs and stuff like that. Like when you end up just not getting no Mael cards and having to fall on FREYJA, it's really good that you have like a 6/6 FREYJA, because then you can just use the Abyss damage to fall off of some of the damage that you missed out on. But because I didn't have 6/6, I kept failing it because I was just not doing enough damage with my ultimates, and then my single targets, I wasn't getting that many of it, so that happened. All right, so this is a real bad boy right here. Now, if you don't know how this function work on floor 3, phase 2, basically if you use a stance cancel card, you'll gain 15% of his gauge, which then you have to just deplete afterwards from one of those great buffs he might get. Sometimes it'd be like, yo, if you use a recovery skill, it's gonna lose it by more and more and more. But as I kept playing stuff like that, I started to realize one little thing, and that is you can't use Freya cards. Now you might be asking yourself, really, why? Because all her single targets count as a stance cancel effect. So because it counts as a stance cancel effect, you're gonna keep building that gauge more and more and more. And the thing with this boss is that you have to kill while it's at 0%. So because of that, you can't use Freya cards at all unless you're ready just to stance remove. So you really have to just force her ultimates as much as possible on this floor. Why is this glitching? I don't know why it was glitching, bro. Probably because that was probably one where I had to like reset and something like that. Because when you reset and then like it pauses the menu, like when you reset, it pauses the entire thing. And sometimes when you pause it in the recording, like it can become like really glitchy. Like when you just instantly like close off on the game, it can become really glitchy. And I ×2 speed the freaking footage, so it just ×2 that bugginess. But I'm looking like, why did that? And I just realized, oh, that's probably was like the part where I was like resetting. That's why I'm trying to like talk over it, because I already know like this whole footage is probably like all scuffed because it just took so freaking long, bro. Like it was like plus an hour, bro, of recording Nidhogg at 4 a.m. Okay, 4 a.m. in the morning. Like, bro, I just want to go to sleep, bro. Like, I didn't even get a chance to look at the Hero Arena or anything like that, or look at Green Escanor like fully. Cause I already know there's some people were like recording like Green Escanor videos. Just because if you did like the last difficulty, which is like Champ 1 multiple weeks, this week you can get Escanor, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately for me, I did not do that. I was like doing like the bottom of 320k, so I still need like, I think like 2 weeks, bro, if I go for the higher difficulty. I think if not, that's gonna be 3 weeks probably, which again sucks, but it's whatever, man. I'm just gonna have to try to find something to do in terms of not having be able to record like LR Green Escanor videos and stuff like that. Or maybe I'll borrow a whale account just to showcase Green Escanor. Like, yo, let me rent your account just so I can showcase Green Escanor. Oh my god, that's funny. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing good damage. Most of this, once you make it to here, what the goddess team is pretty much easy clear. After that, you just doing damage for the most part. You usually want to push for my ultimate a lot for this one, because my ultimate is the best damage, especially if you are a person like me right now who have a low dupe character, which is Freya. Like, that's the thing that I gotta keep mentioning, that this goddess team it's not a bad team. Like, it is a good team. It's just super safe. And when it comes to super safe team, yes, it has less risk for the general public, but it become a very taxing team to run, because if you mess up one time, it can feel like forever playing that mode. Like, you ever did, like, you remember on dogs, like a lot of players was like struggling to beat it, and then people were using like the brawler bond team and stuff like that to beat like all the floors, but it took like a long time to do so. That's just the goddess team. Like, yeah, it's a safe team, but if you get like one mistake and stuff like that, it takes a very long time to keep on continue to play. Like, this is it's our gameplay I just did, and then I had to cut all that up just so it could be like a 20-minute video at 4 a.m. So I mean, I do appreciate you guys if you do like the video and stuff like that, and hear the rambles of me. for the most part. Now again, you're probably asking yourself really like, so what are you saying? Is green Freya worth it? I'll probably say no. She doesn't make it like easier from what the red one can do, and the red one is gonna be a lot easier to get than this one. Okay, because let me ask you again, do you have a red run heal? Most likely not, because red run heal does not return on banners. And that's why I said the red one is probably gonna be a lot better for you. Like this, using like summoning for Freya is just a waste of gems at this point, bro. Like she didn't make my run easier. She didn't make my run faster. She just did what Freya originally did. Just a lot slower because she just a lot slower because she's not 6'6". Because that's the one thing people don't understand. Like, bro, just because your character is not 6'6", just because the character didn't have 2 single targets didn't mean anything. Because you had a 6'6" ult, which gave you that extra boost in damage. But this is probably the end of the video because I think I crit right here. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and yeah, definitely not worth it.